Okay, so now is your time to ask any questions you'd like. Actually, I think McKenna, did you text me today? You had a question about the project? Okay, go ahead and ask it.
What do we do with the M&Ms?
What do we do with the M&Ms once we've counted them?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Eat them.
You have to come up with like the question, like what question is going with it.
Could you just describe the whole and then? Yeah. Would I just cancel the project? I would just cancel the project or the.
Okay, so the M&M project is a chi-square test.
Wait, so which one's the like rows and which is the bridge?
Can you like?
Keep going. I'll back you up.
I need some backup.
Okay, so here's the idea. You got 2 bags of M&Ms, right? Okay, I don't care what they are. Peanut and plain, we'll just say it. Pretzel, or I don't care, whatever you got. You got what you got. Both of them have colored M&Ms, right? Okay, so if you were doing a chi-square test of independence, what do you think your null hypothesis would be?
Color is independent.
Color is independent of the type of M&Ms. Does that make sense? Color is independent of type of M&Ms. Okay, so how would you set that up?
Does it have to be M&M's? You could do Skittles or like
Skittles is fine.
Reese's Pieces?
Reese's Pieces, they don't have as many colors. Do you have multiple Reese's Pieces?
Like different flavors of Reese's Pieces?
Do they? I don't think so. I think they're just peanut butter, aren't they?
Holiday colors.
I probably wouldn't do peanut butter.
Yeah, they got
I would. Do they?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Have you already collected your data? You should have collected this weeks ago. You should know the answer to that question. Okay? Are you going to go buy some Reese's Pieces this weekend? Okay? I would probably avoid Reese's Pieces, but if you can find multiple flavors, I guess there's no reason to exclude them. But yeah, Starbursts, I wouldn't do Starburst because it's rare that they're different. So I'd avoid Starburst. The M&Ms, one group may find they're independent, one group may find they're not. So I'm only asking you to do 1 bag, remember. So ideally, you're just comparing 1 bag versus 1 bag. Is that a good experiment? No, it's good for doing the math. I'm not going to ask you to do 30 bags. Ooh, that's what I should do, huh? That would be more authentic or whatever. Yeah. What did you say?
Expensive.
It would be more expensive too. So yeah, but it would be a better experiment, right? Okay, but yeah, well, we're just doing 1 bag versus 1 bag, so you definitely could be subject to a bad bag. So that's a little bit of a problem there. So does that explain? Okay.
You have like 2 different bags. Like
2 different bags.
And then just the colors.
And then the colors that you observed. Okay. Now let me ask you this. Okay, let's say, aren't there 6 colors in a bag of M&Ms? Would you expect them all to be 1/6? Better question. Would an independence question expect that every color would be 1/6? Not necessarily. Okay. So when we're talking about independence, you could have 20% red, and you could have 10% yellow, and you could have 25% green, whatever, add up to 100%, hopefully, okay, whatever they are. And you could have the plain and the peanut, okay? Maybe you've got 18% here, and you got 12% here, and you got 23% here. Adds up to 100, Now my question to you, let's pretend that these are your numbers. Now, and I'm putting percentages instead of counts here, but you should use counts, okay? But let's just say, would you think those would be significantly different? It would depend on how many M&Ms you have. Now, the one thing that I will say, avoid the small fun size bag, get a big bag. Okay, I know that's a little bit more expensive, but the small bags, you could end up with, for example, if you just get the fun size candy, you could get 1 and 7 and 6 and 3 and 2 and 5 or something. Would that be a problem? Let's pretend those are your fun size bags. Would that be a problem, and why? Sydney says yes, because. Jordan?
There could be a chance, like, 0 or something. If it's not really- So like, it could be.
Well, remember, they've all got to be greater than 5, right? And we've got half of them that are less than 5. So you could definitely have a problem there. Okay? That's why I say avoid fun size bags. They're not big enough. Okay? Get a bigger bag. If you haven't got your M&Ms yet, get a big bag. Yes.
So do we do it as a group or each person in the group has to buy their own bag?
You only need 2 bags per group. But make sure they're big bags. Don't use the fun size bags, they're too small. So, plus, it's more candy to eat, right? After you're done, but don't eat them until you're done. What if you make a mistake and you gotta count them again? Spill them out. Suck off all the color.
Just do different math.
Yeah, just buy new bags. Okay, yes.
For the other project, the survey.
Your survey?
So if we have to do a confidence interval and hypothesis test, do we just pick one of the options to do it for?
What do you mean one of the options?
So like, for example, in ours, we ask people if they would rather save money or spend money. So do we pick like, okay, we're gonna use save money. We're gonna use that percentage in
Okay.
the confidence interval?
So I'm sure people couldn't hear the question. So the question is, do they want to save money or spend money? So it's categorical. And so you picked which one?
Save.
You picked save, so you've got 37% that want to save, or whatever the number is, okay? And then you want to do a confidence interval around the saves?
Uh-huh, that's
Yeah.
the question.
Yeah, you can choose. Well, here's what I would say. Kind of, because aren't you comparing this to your national poll?
Uh-huh.
What did the national poll people do?
Well, they gave both numbers. Like they just gave the percentages.
They gave the percent that saved and the percent that spend? Oh, that's weird. Okay, because I would have thought they would have just picked one number. And if they gave both, I guess you can just pick one. Yeah, just compare it to one, that's fine. That really surprises me, but yeah, it could happen, so. Any other questions? Okay, how about, so that's the end of the project questions. Do you have questions about the test on, Monday? Okay. So the test is on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday in the testing center. I got special permission to do that. They wanted you to take it today, and I said, no, we're not taking it today. They actually listened to me. I was surprised. They never listened to me. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the computer exam will be in the testing center. Check the hours of operation. If you want to take 10 hours, get there 10 hours early. Shouldn't take you that long. But make sure you get there with plenty of time. The written test will be on Tuesday here in class. So, yes.
Next time we're on the first, or is it for this?
Okay, so this is exam number 4 is Tuesday. Thursday is a final exam review and your project is due. And then the following Tuesday is the test, right? The final exam. So the final exam will be the following Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. No, only Monday or Tuesday. It's only 2 days. They only let me do it Tuesdays. So it's April 30th or May 1st in the testing center. The written test will be May 1st. So the next 2 Tuesdays, you have a test in here. Today and the next Thursday, you have a review in here. So you can ask me anything. Yes.
Excuse me, for the Excel test, for exam 4, is Monday the free day and then Tuesday, Wednesday you have to pay for it, or how does it work?
Monday is the free day, Tuesday and Wednesday you have to pay.
Okay.
And the same thing with the final. Monday will be the free day, on the final Tuesday you'll have to pay.
Okay.
And then, yeah. You guys aren't asking me any homework questions? I got a good idea for you. These are nice and hard. You have a question? Okay.
I don't know if you have something nice and hard to teach us, maybe you should.
Well, I have this thing called, and basically the question is, which test should you pick? Because that's going to be the hardest part of this next test. Okay?
Exam 4?
Huh?
Exam 4 or the final?
Yes, both the exam and the final. This will be the hardest thing to pick. Okay? But what was your question?
How would I have a question?
Oh, I thought you said you did. Does anybody have a question, or would you like me to just come up with a good review? Okay, we've only got 10 minutes to review. Yes.
What are the chances that you'd be willing to, for your review for the final, would you be willing to like print up sample questions for us to actually go over in class to review, like a sample for each kind of portion?
Okay, I'll just pull them off the test bank, but I can do that.
That's fine.
I'll try to make sure they're correct.
I mean, that would be go through it all in class and kind of.
Well, yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll come up. I'll just pick some questions off of the test bank. I'll try to make sure the answers are right. But you guys should do that too. I've posted most of them except for the stuff that was due today. Yeah, we can do that. Would you like to do that? And then, and I'll try to, actually, I also have this here. So I've got, okay, I got to be careful with these because there's a lot of stuff on here you guys haven't learned, but let's see if I can do this one. Okay, this is a good one, I think. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go over, we've only got a little bit of time left, but here's what we're going to do. So the information in these questions, there's actually not enough information for you to solve the problem, but the purpose of this assignment is simply to see if you know which test you should take or you should do, okay? So Ted is a medical researcher. He wants to monitor the blood sugar of some patients in a study. He is concerned these patients might have a higher blood pressure than the general population. His research tells him the average adult has a blood glucose level of 84 milligrams per deciliter with a standard deviation of 5.2. For his study, he is measuring both the husband and wife of 22 couples in his patient group. What hypothesis test should Ted use? Now, like I said, there's not enough information to actually solve this. The purpose is we're going to go through our 7 steps. What's question number 1 you should ask yourself? These should be memorized by now. Is it categorical or quantitative? Oh, yeah, you can do that. I forgot about that. That's question 2. Okay, so we're going along here. Something's 84 milligrams per deciliter. What's the something? Mu equals 84 milligrams per deciliter, right? Standard deviation is 5.2. What's 5.2? Sigma equals 5.2. For his husband and wife, he's measuring both the husband and wife of 22 couples. N equals 44. That was tricky, huh? Okay. All right. So now, is it categorical or quantitative? Quantitative because 84 milligrams per deciliter is a number, right? Okay, so now let's see, is it the null hypothesis or the type of test? Okay, so what's the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis? Mu equals 84 and mu is greater than 84 because we think it's higher, right? Okay, now what type of test? Is a Z a T chi-squared? It's a Z, right? Z, which Z? Z population what? What am I measuring here? The mean or a proportion? It's mean. So what's the equation I should use? Technically, you'll have your formula sheet, but X, so Z equals X bar minus mu over sigma over the square root of n. Hopefully you've done enough of those that that's memorized by now, right? Okay. Now, there's not enough information to actually calculate that, but well, the next step would be to what? Find the p-value. Let's say I get a p-value of 0.08. What do we do? Reject or not? Do not reject. Oh, you guys are doing really good on this. There is not evidence that the couples have higher blood sugar than the population. Cow, we jammed through that. That was easy. Usually everybody struggles with that. Okay, let's see if I can find another one here. Here, we'll just put this on the next page. Sylvia is a medical researcher. She wants to study the metabolism rates of caffeine in both men and women. She decides to use couples for comparisons and decides to study whether both spouses will eat the same foods. She picks couples with general health is similar. Study requires blood to be drawn after consuming amounts in similar amounts adjusted for body mass. She has 37 couples in her study. Wants to determine if the amount of caffeine is different between the men and the women. Oh, you know what? We can't do this one. Never mind. Oh, this is a good one. Levitt Group is a survey consultant company. They have a family-owned business. Father retired 3 years ago and left the company with his 2 children. They have been contracted by a paper producer to gauge the preference of their design logos and whether or not the preference is dependent on age group. They design a study where they will ask which of 2 logos someone prefers. They will also ask respondents some demographic data, which will include their age. They want to determine if there is a significant difference in the preference of logos for customers in the 25 to 44 age group as the customers in the 45 plus age group. Which hypothesis test should they use? Okay, once again, not enough information to solve this, but we can tell which kind of a test you should have. So I can't even identify any numbers because there weren't any. Okay, so we've just skipped that part. Okay. Let's see, the next first question is categorical or quantitative? Categorical? What are the categories? No, 25 to 44 are the groups. What are the categories? They like the logo, which logo they preferred, right? This is logo preference. Okay, so it's categorical. Okay. Now, what's the null hypothesis? The alternative. Preference is independent of age. Preference not independent of age. Do you guys agree with that? Okay. So what kind of a test should I do? Chi-square independence test. We do our chi-square, we get a p-value equal to 0.02, which means reject the null and your conclusion. There is evidence that logo is not independent. Would it be okay to put dependent? No. Of age. Okay. Now, this would be a table that I'd have to give to you. For those of you who want extra credit, would you be able to figure out what was out of whack from the table? Do you know how to do that? No? Here's how you do that. You look at your sum table, whichever sum is the biggest, or whichever number contributes most to the sum, that one's most out of whack. So you could say, for example, the old people like the younger logo, the younger people like the newer logo, or something like that. okay? Like I said, not enough information to do it, but you could figure that out, okay? Do you want me to put some of these up that you can do? This one has a lot of them you can't do, but yeah, I could do that. So that'll be practice. Okay, so test is on Tuesday in class, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday in the testing center. Okay? See you all on Tuesday.